Let's take you now to the Western Cape to find out about an interesting project involving energy interventions around 100 no-fee schools across the Western Cape. A startup, GreenX Engineering, will be conducting energy audits and retrofitting schools with energy-saving lights and meters. Now, Cluttersville Primary School in Stellenbosch is one of those to benefit. They had a little launch this past week. Joining me now are GreenX Engineering Managing Director Dr. Jason Samuels and Cluttersville Primary School Headmaster Roger Cupido, both joining us from Stellenbosch this evening. Gentlemen, thank you so much for your time this evening. I just realized I'm speaking to people speaking about green energy, the principle of the green school, and I'm wearing green tonight. It wasn't planned, but it is good planning. Speaking of which, Dr. Samuels, if I can start with you. You're the MD of a very interesting organization, but fittingly so, you did your PhD focusing on how we can help schools in South Africa save energy. In a nutshell, can you just give us an idea of why you think that this is a necessity, not just for schools near Stellenbosch University, but indeed for across the country?
Good evening, Marcel. I think with the country's energy crisis, this is quite an opportune time for schools to actually give value to the communities in a different way. We go to schools to get educated, and schools are so pivotal to our communities. And with regards to energy, schools are able to actually benefit the community a lot. So with our project, we looked at how schools use electricity, and we saw that our public schools, they can actually save a lot. And they also have a lot of roof space. So if you do go solar at a school, you are able to actually put enough solar for the school, and not only that, also to aid the rest of the community, to feed into a municipality, and to actually generate some income for the schools as the regulations are changing now with the president's recent speech. So this is an amazing opportunity for schools, especially schools in the Western Cape, to help our country with the energy crisis.
Now, Mr. Cupido, let me bring you in here. I always feel we need to sit up straight when we speak to principals on this channel. Cluttersville Primary, a large school, Cluttersville, is known as the Green School or Die Groen School. Tell us how you got that nickname.
That's correct. When they built the school way back, it was a temporary structure, and they painted the whole structure. Everything was green. I believe that some part of the roof were even green as well, and therefore we were known as the Green School. Luckily for us, that is not anymore the reason why they call us the Green School, but we are now known as the Green School because we are engaging into green initiatives such as the solar panels. But we also engage with Dr. Jason Samuels. We replaced Dr. Jason Samuels and his company GreenX replaced all of the lights in the school with these new LEDs, whereby we also obtain our ECD certificate, which I believe was the first for schools in the country.
Now, Dr. Samuels, let me bring you in there because this is a process. Obviously, there was the unveiling of the solar panels this week, but this is a process started at the end of last year already with the replacement, a very simple thing, the replacement of lights at certain schools. Tell us how you went about that and what were the schools' reactions to it, because I believe there was some pushback from some schools, but once they saw that they could save between 20 and 40% on their energy bills, one would think it sounds like a no-brainer.
Yeah, that is so true. Our research entailed having smart meters installed temporarily in schools, and Cluttersville Primary was actually one of the lucky ones that had a permanent one installed. We could look at their data, and then we could see where some of the wastage is. Coupling that with an energy audit, you can go through a school and you can see which of the technologies that they're using are old. And are wasting energy. So the solution was very simple. We counted everything that used electricity in the school. And in our lower quintile schools, they have a couple of computers, they have a couple of air cons, but they have hundreds and hundreds of lights. And these are all fluorescent lights. And when you take these out and put in the best LED that you can find, you can actually save, as you said, between 20 and 40% of their energy bill. And the school can use that, and they can use that to actually get some other educational benefits.
And now this latest development saw one of the more privileged schools in the area, Renish Primary School, being able to hand over solar panels that they had in an earlier iteration of another project of yours, and they've handed over their panels to Cluttersville Primary School. Explain to us what the next step in this campaign is, and then talk to us about those 100 no-fee schools in the Western Cape that you are now focusing on.
So I have to mention that the spin-out company, it is through the university, and the research was by the university. And they sponsored most of the research and the lights. And the school, Renish Primary, they were very generous, and they donated these panels to Cluttersville Primary, the green school. Further on, though, we plan to continue the rollout of smart metering and LEDs in the rest of the 100 schools. And then thereafter, we would want there to also be solar in those schools. But it is very essential to first go smart metering and then energy efficiency, coupled with behavioral interventions and efficiency, and then solar. Because if we first go solar, there's a lot of wastage actually still in the building. And schools put in too much solar that they're not going to be using. So it's very essential for schools to first get smart metering so that we can actually see what's going on in the school and how to manage the electricity well, and then go lights, LED lights, and reduce their load, and then go solar. So yeah, that process is very, very crucial.
Now, Roger, you've said that this is going to save you these new panels are going to save you some 20,000 Rand a year. That's a lot of money for a school such as yours. What kind of impact will that have on how you run your school? And do you think that this will be a first step in also educating kids and staff alike about what more can be done to live more sustainably?
Yeah, I believe it's 36,000 a year that we can save, monthly saving of 3,000 Rand. Yes, also we're very thankful, obviously, for the solar panels that we installed, that has been installed at school. So we're taking that opportunity also to teach our learners and the community as well about the solar panels, and also being able to play our little part in going eco-friendly, obviously. The funding that we save, obviously, we will definitely use so that we can give more opportunities for our learners at our school, as we are a non-school fee school. This is just a blessing as to savings or money that we can use in utilizing and giving opportunities to learners that really needed it very, very much, or the most.
I'm sure it has. Dr. Samuels, before I let you go, what are we hearing from the Department of Education, the Western Cape, obviously? Is there hope that it will be cottoned on to by the province, and indeed then the rest of the country, because this really will help so many schools?
Yeah, there's a lot of potential and also a lot of positive intent from the WCED. At the unveiling last week, where we had the solar panels being unveiled at the Green School, the DDG of the WCED was there, and he inspired us with how he spoke about the potential of schools and the potential of energy savings in schools, and that money then being used to uplift the community. So I think there's a lot of value there for schools, and this is an opportune time for schools because due to the energy crisis, schools would be able to be used as energy nodes as we get them solar ready and fitted out with solar, and as they feed into municipalities. And I see that as the critical role that schools will be playing.
On a more basic level as well, there must be a massive educational role here as well for kids seeing these solar panels going up, seeing those special bulbs being put in, and seeing what impact it's having on their day-to-day lives, that when the power goes out in the rest of the community, but the school still has energy because of these interventions. That must be quite inspiring as well. Dr.
No,
Samuels.
Marcel, you are stealing my words. That is so true. I think we would be raising a different generation coming now, seeing these panels and seeing a very different using of energy, not so reliant on Eskom, but moving away and moving towards something more sustainable and something where we are all more involved. So I'm looking forward to this, and it's such a privilege to be playing a part.
Okay, we're going to leave it there. Thank you so much for coming on to tell us about this exciting project. That's GreenX Engineering Managing Director, Dr. Jason Samuels, and Crittesville Primary School Headmaster, Roger Cupido, both joining us virtually there from Stellenbosch.